All right, everybody, welcome back. We are in northern Michigan in the UP, just outside of Gulliver, Michigan. We're up here visiting Sara's parents, my wife, and we are cooking in our camper this week. We're trying to get the house sold and get all that taken care of, so we're up here right now visiting. So we're going to make dinner tonight. We're going to make a carbonara, which is basically pasta, and you use the egg, and you make like a sauce with the egg, the pasta water, the cheese, some toppings. And because it's almost Halloween, we're going to be a little bit festive. We're going to make like a pumpkin puree to kind of mix in with it to give it kind of that, you know, a little bit different taste, a little bit different texture, and it's going to be really good. So we're going to go ahead and get started and get cooking. Alrighty. Now to get started, I've got a pot of boiling water here going so we can cook our noodles. I've got about a half a pound of bacon here, chopped small, and I'm going to go ahead and start rendering it down in my my cast iron pan here. Get that going. Cast iron's one of the best ways to cook bacon. Get that nice, well, I can't move it too much here. Get that nice even cooking, and I'm going to put it on like a slightly high-low, if that makes sense. So we're going to go ahead and get that cooking. Next thing we're going to do is, because I'm going to try doing pumpkin as more of like a puree, like if you took a squash or something, same idea. So we're just going to add savory elements to it. I've got some, about a teaspoon of garlic, and I've got about roughly a quarter cup to a third cup of small diced onion. And then I also have a mixture of spices, some granulated garlic and onion, a little bit of red pepper flakes, some thyme, some ground mustard, and then we'll add salt and pepper to taste. And then we're also going to mix in a little bit of butter towards the end of the puree, just to give it that richness. So we're going to get this going. I'm going to get the this little pot on. Real nice and easy. This is a great kitchen. I'm really excited to start cooking in here. And I'm going to use just a touch of oil. And basically, I'm going to sweat the onions and the garlic, and what that basically means is I want them to cook down, but I don't want them to brown. So it's a lot lower heat, and it's just like a slow, even cook to really pull all the flavor out of that to really make this pumpkin something special. So we're going to get that started as well. Alright, once the bacon kind of cooks down here a little bit more, the water gets to a full rolling boil, we'll bring it back and we'll show you how we go from here. Alrighty, so it's been just a couple minutes. We got our onions cooking here. If you can kind of see, they start to get the nice translucent look to them. They're not caramelized, which is what I'm looking for. And it's got a great smell. It's got that nice oniony garlic smell. So I just opened up a can of pumpkin. I don't think we're going to need the whole can, but we're just going to use the whole can anyways, and we'll figure out a leftover for it later. So that's roughly about 12 to 14 ounces of canned pumpkin. You could also use fresh, or you could also use butternut squash, which is a really good alternative. It'll be a little bit sweeter, but that's okay. So we're just mixing in the onions, the garlic, the pumpkin, and what we want to do is keep mixing it, because I don't want it to burn, and then it would just ruin the whole thing. But I don't want to thin it out either, because that will defeat the purpose. Then it'll be just kind of like soup, and we're not looking for soup. So we're going to start that. We're also going to take our spices that we talked about in the beginning of the episode. Go ahead and mix those in. Get all the goodness out of there. And then we're just going to let this slowly cook. And then we'll put some butter in at the end. So make sure everything's nice, well mixed in. Okay. Oh, we'll just let that go there. Next, we're going to kind of take a look at our bacon here. See, it's slowly starting to crisp up. You got that beautiful bacon sound, sizzling. So we probably have another, I don't know, 5-6 minutes, maybe just a tad longer on the bacon. But we don't want to drain it. We want that fat in there to help with the sauce. So it'll have a little bit of bacon fat, the bacon, the pumpkin puree, the noodles. I'm going to turn up our water here a little bit more, get that going full blast. I'm going to do, there's 4 of us, I'm going to do roughly about a half a pound of pasta, maybe 3/4 of a pound, and we're going to see how that goes. So, when we come back, the noodles will be coming out, our bacon should be almost done, and we're almost ready to whip this all together. Alrighty, so one of the main parts about carbonara is the egg. So we're going to do 1 egg per person, basically. Now you crack this on a flat surface, and that'll give you a nice way to crack it. So when you crack it in your bowl, there is no shell. Alright. Then we're going to take a couple of tablespoons of Parmesan, like that. I normally put it on top of the egg yolk first, kind of protect the egg yolk so it doesn't cook it, because you're not looking for scrambled eggs. Now our pasta is almost ready. Just a few, probably another 2 minutes. And then we're going to go ahead and throw all this together. Make a great carbonara, a really nice fall dish. Now, one thing about carbonara that I would like to point out really fast is that, yes, you're using an egg to make the sauce, but when you put the egg in there with all your other ingredients and you're whipping it together with, you know, your hot puree, the hot pasta, the bacon, all that cooks the egg. All you're doing is you're just kind of whipping it really quickly so the egg doesn't cook into scrambled eggs. And that's what gives you that kind of creamy, you know, really nice texture, is the egg, the cheese, it all comes together along with the puree in this case as well. We're going to go ahead, we're going to toss this up. Take a little bit of the bacon, a little bit of the fat, throw that in there. Next, we're going to take a little bit of that pumpkin. I don't know, we're going to start with about there. We'll see where that gets us. We might add a little bit more. And then, drain that a little bit. Alright, that looks like about enough. So now we're just going to whip it really fast. So I'm going to add a little bit more Parmesan because it needs a little bit tighter. Mix it all nice together. So now we're going to take our bowl, do nice twists. Get our pieces of bacon on there, just like that. Just a little bit of dusting of cheese on top. And there's your final product, pumpkin carbonara with hardwood smoked bacon, little spaghetti noodles. A fairly quick and a pretty easy meal to make. You can feed a lot of people pretty quickly like that. And it's really nice because it makes its own sauce right there. So that's what we have for this week. Come back next time. We'll be making some other great fall stuff. And I'm really looking forward to Halloween coming up, Thanksgiving. And I'm really excited to share those adventures with you. Alright, we'll see you next time.